G'day everyone, I am the Red Scar, this is Red Scar Gaming. Today is my summary of my first draft of Modern Horizons 3, which frankly I'm pretty disappointed about that draft in total. I did really enjoy Game 2, but frankly the rest of it was just about waste of time, at least for my entertainment purposes, but I hope the people who watched all these videos learnt a bit from it maybe. I know Mardu's not the strongest set of colours in Modern Horizons 3 draft, but yeah, I mean, even just to have a bit of fun with it would have been nice. But yeah, let's go through each card as per normal, and I'll discuss what I learned from them. Indebted Spirit, I didn't get a chance to play, though I think it would have been good because it's a pretty versatile card. Like even if you play it turn one, it's a okay 1/1 creature. It's not going to win you the game, but then Afterlife one helps you a fair bit. Plus, if you are able to bestow it, I think it would be once again not exactly game winning, but a very useful card. Retrofitted Transmogrant. I did use him once or twice. In fact, I got to play him from the graveyard a few times. Once, twice. Anyway, but yeah, he's good. He's not great, but I mean, he's 1 mana cost creature that you can keep playing. So my intention with him was to sort of be able to play him regardless of what time of the game it was. But yeah, look, didn't get much of a chance to do it. But I mean, hey, he's a chump blocker. That's about it. Distinguished Conjurer. I did draft 2, and I think I'm a bit disappointed with what I got out of Distinguished Conjurer. Not so much that it's a bad card or anything, I just didn't quite get the rest of the cards that I probably should have drafted with it. I'm sure that could have been worded differently, but anyway, it's still a pretty good card, but yeah, just not really in this deck. Wing It is good. More the flying counter edition, I think in at least my case helped. Scry 1 certainly helps, but yeah, the +2/+2, it doesn't make the card worthless or anything, but yeah, I didn't really need the +2/+2 bit too much, but yeah, it's fine card. Dream Drinker Vampire was sort of one of those. A lot of people talk about the 40th card that you add to your deck that you're not really sure about. I did play it once, and it wasn't particularly effective, but it was a bit late in the game anyway. So look, I'll try it again some other time, but yeah, just not this draft. Wither and Bloom, I was very happy with. It's certainly not a game-winning card, but in this particular deck, at least, because I was a bit late game, Wither and Bloom was very good for taking out that initial threat or those little setup pieces that my opponent had. Plus, it gave me something to spend 2 mana on to put a 1/1 counter on something, which, yeah, sure, doesn't win you the game straight away, but it helps you that little bit, and it certainly helped, particularly game 2, I would say. It was particularly good in, but yeah, it was useful the entire time. Fanged Flames, not as useful perhaps in this particular circumstance, but it's still good. Take out a medium-sized creature. Exile it is probably the more powerful side, if that's the word to use. It's very useful when used well. Siege Smash. Didn't get to use it as much as I probably had hoped to. It's good little combat trick. The whole trample thing, and in fact, I think I only got to use it once, and it was just sort of at the end of the game that I just lost anyway. So, didn't really get the best time to use it. But yeah, look, I really like the artwork on that too, by the way, for anyone who cared. Legion Leadership is a very powerful card in the right circumstances. Double target creature's power is sort of to perhaps oversimplify it, the double target creature's power is probably the aggressive side of it, and it gains first strike is more the defensive side. So like if you play it during your turn, play it on something that perhaps wasn't blocked for maybe it's only a small creature and double its power, and suddenly it does like 4 damage rather than 2 is pretty good. The whole gained first strike thing, I would see using more in the defensive position. So your opponent attacks with something that, you want to make sure you get rid of. So you double a creature's power, and the first strike bit really helps. I don't think I played it as a land, did I? But it was good for this deck. Boggart Trawler, yeah, it's. I think I said during the draft, it's not going to be a particularly powerful card, but look, may as well draft it if I need it at any time. I think I played it as a creature once, and a land once, but yeah, like either time it wasn't particularly useful. But it's one of those utility cards that can just sort of help you either way, and I like it for that, and I'd probably draft it again. Kami of Jealous Thirst, which I kept pronouncing the name wrong. Uh, a bit on the defensive, which look is fine at least for my intention with this deck. I didn't get to use its activated ability at all, which would have been really good, even if I had to still pay 5 mana for it. But yeah, look, in the draft, it's probably just not fast enough to be of any particular use. The fact that it has Death Touch is sort of more the reason that I drafted it. But the activated ability is good too. Breathe Your Last is essentially just murder, but you gain life. So I don't see why you wouldn't draft it really. But I mean, if you're not playing black, it's probably a good reason. Thriving Skyclaw, I did get actually pretty good use out of it, even when it wasn't exactly the card that I really needed. It pretty much Thriving Skyclaw, to oversimplify it, basically won me game one and made game two last a bit longer than it would have otherwise. It's certainly not like the best card or something like that, but it works in a lot of different ways and can be a 4/3 flyer for 4, which is fine. Rose Cotton Knight was good. I know that in my deck in particular, I don't have much by way of artifact or enchantments, so I'm sure it could be in a better position. But even as a 4/5 vigilance, I'm pretty happy with it. Even if it didn't have all the rest of that ability, I was sort of hoping to play Rose Cotton Knight alongside Distinguished Conjurer, so I could sort of tutor my deck, or at least get +1/+1 bits on all the time and gain life and all that sort of thing. But just didn't get the chance really. It's sort of almost the win con in this particular deck. It didn't it didn't do particularly well, but game two it was my win con, and in that particular set of circumstances, because I'd gone wing it on top of the one that was on the board, and I basically got free attacks every turn. My opponent just gained 40 life or whatever it was. Fettered Gargantua, didn't get to use him as much as I'd hoped, but played him a few times. The Adapt 2 trigger was really good. And I do wish that I had the circumstance that I could add more 1/1 counters on it, like outside of Adapt, I mean, because like draw 2, lose 2 is pretty good added ability for adding 1/1 cards to 1/1 tokens to someone. So it's a good card. Yeah, sure, it's just vanilla after that, but I'm fine with it still. Wormcoil Lava, I really, really wanted to play that card. It's just a really cool card, and I'm very happy that they printed this. I just didn't get a chance to use it. It was bad luck, essentially, but I'll definitely draft it again, at least just to test it. And as far as the land ratio is concerned, I'm pretty happy with that. Contaminated Landscape was the only non-basic land that I got to draft in this particular draft, though it might just be like bad management, because I know that when I started drafting, I wasn't 100% sure on what colors I was going with. So I'll in my defense, I wasn't quite sure for a while, but I still got to use it, and I got the cards I needed at the time. As far as my sideboard, I was in my draft video, as I'm sure you'd know if you watched that, I was quite unsure as to where I was going. Like I drafted a lot of just Mardu things, but yeah, I just wasn't sure where to go. Distinguished Conjurer, I'm still happy with how that as a card works. I just didn't get much of a chance to use it this time. It was game 2 that my opponent had 2 copies of it and used it very, very well. In fact, to oversimplify it, that won him the game. So yeah, I definitely drafted again, just not in this particular pack, this particular deck. I mean, maybe another copy of Wing It would have been good, because look, I did have some flying. I don't think I had much reg, did I? No, I had a little bit of flying, but yeah, I think in hindsight, another flying counter on something would have been really good. But yeah, look, I'm not complaining too loudly. Inspired Inventor, I know is sort of it's not a great card, but it's sort of good for any deck, to oversimplify it. So yeah, I don't think it would have been particularly good here. Maybe the whole put a 1/1 counter on target creature, but in that sense, I probably would have been using it mainly on Fetid Gargantua, or sort of my bigger end of stuff anyway, because yeah, the intention with this deck was sort of turn, well, turn 1, 2, 3, play removal, defensive, that sort of thing. Turn 4, 5, 6 is when I actually start attacking. So Inspired Inventor might have been a good way to sort of meet halfway, attack a little bit, turn 3. Another Rosecott Knight, yeah, I don't think I needed 3. It's good, but yeah, 3's a big number. As far as going blue, I don't think there was anything in particular that I got for blue that would have been good. Maybe Corrupted Shapeshifter, because you can play it sort of however you like. Though yeah, there's nothing jumping out at me that would have been particularly useful. Maybe that flying, 3/3 flying side of it, but or the 0/2 with the 0/12, sorry, with Defender would have been all right, because it is a very defensive creature. It's pretty hard to get through. So yeah, but you've got to be careful being defensive in a draft, but that's all right. Aether Spike, I'm sure, is great in a energy deck. I just didn't have an energy deck. Another retrofitted Transmogrant. I don't think I needed a second one, but it could have been good. Karma of Jealous Thirst. I said during the draft that I just got I just got the option of almost going exclusively Karma of Jealous Thirst, which I don't think would have won me the game, but that's all right. Siege Smash. Yeah, look, another one. Maybe there was a situation where I could have gone with it, like just spitballing a bit, instead of, say, Indebted Spirit, but would have been a bit more combat tricky, and the trample would have been particularly useful. But yeah, I don't think I needed another one. Void Pouncer is probably good in a deck where you can focus a bit more on Eldrazi, but I've tried going Eldrazi specific in Modern Horizons 3 draft before, and maybe it was just bad luck, but I haven't done it very well. So yeah, I wasn't terribly keen on playing Void Pouncer. Meltdown's great in the right circumstance, but I just don't think you're gonna use it enough. Undo Not Master. I think I stand by what I said during the draft. Look, it is good in the right circumstance, but if you don't have any modified creatures out when it's on the board, it's just a 2/2 lifelink for 4 mana, so it's pretty bad. It might be better in a deck that is a bit more focused on the modified. So I suppose maybe Golgari splashing white, which would be Abzan, I suppose. But it might be better in that circumstance. But I'm still happy that I didn't keep that in the deck. Horrid Shadow Spinner, it's cool card. I just don't think I would have splashed blue for that. Junk Diver was one that I was thinking about because it can be very effective. It's certainly not a powerful card, but actually, if I had used it, it would have been really good for Wormcoil Lava. Yeah, though had I played Wormcoil Lava as well, because yeah, Junk Diver with that is basically is basically 6 creatures for, like, yeah, sure, you still have to pay the mana for it, but yeah, it's basically 6 creatures with 2 cards, so it's a good little combo. Even if it doesn't win you the game, it's not bad. Urza's Incubator, it was the first card I drafted, and yeah, look, I wasn't terribly keen on it to begin with, but I thought, look, you got to go with it, and my first pack wasn't great anyway, so I think Urza's Incubator was a good choice, but yeah, I'm glad I put it in the sideboard. And Warp Tusker, I could have maybe gone that one, but you got to be a little bit careful going that splash of green. Uh, I suppose he would have been good instead of, say, Field Gargantua. Uh, Maybe, just because he's a big creature and reach helps. The fact that he's colorless is particularly useful, but yeah, maybe I was too over careful on the fact that he's sort of more green cycling sort of thing. But anyway, that's for me to learn from. But yeah, as I said, I'm still pretty unhappy with how that draft went. Now, just to thinking aloud a bit, but maybe I should have gone a little bit more earlier game, because the games that I did lose, even the games I did lose, I didn't exactly lose quickly. I suppose except game 4, which my opponent was just very good, and I probably would have lost to him regardless of what I drafted. But yeah, there wasn't any. I think game 3, like, I did lose, but it was mainly just bad luck, and my opponent wasn't winning quickly anyway. So yeah, game 3 was really annoying, and yeah, I just played one card and did nothing the rest of the game because I drew 8 lands. So yeah, that was just bad luck, and I'm really sorry about that one. But anyway, hopefully you learned from this deck. Yeah, as I said, I know it wasn't going to be tier 1, but yeah, I was just very disappointed with that. But yeah, I'll gladly have another draft with Modern Horizons 3. But yeah, hopefully I do better, because yeah, that was disappointing. But anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.